we're caught up in thinking, like we have to work, towards something that seems right. Like, okay, I want to be comfortable in myself. I want comfort for my family.
Yeah.
But it's like we're not working towards good. We're taught this idea that what's good is to make money, and then you can buy these services.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just such a roundabout way, and actually a really detrimental way of providing for yourself.
What do you think society's responsibility is in preserving our environment?
Wow. So, in trying to reference it or trying to draw it back to Aristotle, of course, there's the good, and we work all, and for the intrinsic value of good, not for, I guess, the cultivation or manipulation of everything. So, I think that we, as a society, have a responsibility to hand off a world to future generations of people.
Yeah. Into talking to just your friends, how would you influence their patterns? Like, what's one thing? Can you think of one thing that you would do?
I know. Okay, I'm broke. That's probably why I hate Christy so much. I'm like, I ain't got no money. But I'm all about I work on the USF Garden. And,
the community garden.
I love the garden because I need places. I love places. I thrive in places where there's no financial obligation to be there, and I'm fed. There's nothing more beautiful about this world than the bounty that it's able to provide. So.
Awesome.
What else do you think USF does to kind of promote a green
what do you think
culture?
USF does?
Do you think the community garden's a great starting point to
I think the USF Garden is on point for social activism and a pursuit of goodness.
Yeah.
I think I'm maybe a little bit radical and
because we're part of it.
I'm not. There's judgments that I'm making that maybe aren't entirely factual, but I want society and our actions taken to be centered around food.
Okay.
Completely. That's what it comes down to, feeding people. Because.
Or do you feel like something more needs to be done, something different needs to be done?
The word more is weird because, the moment you reach a limit, there's always something more that you can do. So there's always something more that can be done. I'm not exactly sure what that means. If society should just try to take it all back down to kind of being yeoman, so to speak.
Yeah.
Agricultural, farmer, less industry and things like that. Which is kind of weird because it's
so I got another question.
Right?
Could you picture yourself being in that kind of lifestyle? Could you feel yourself reverting back to that?
It's
do you think
beautiful because no.
Yeah.
And I'll explain exactly why. My parents are from a small community in Texas, in East Texas, called Clarksville, and they are rural.
Uh-huh.
And there are certain things that I'm going to say civilized society or that a city that they're not privy to living in that little rural community.
Yeah.
A bathroom, for example, they don't necessarily have plumbing and their irrigation is a little off. And so I feel stepping back to that type of lifestyle was a decline in civilization.
Yeah.
However, there's an interesting balance that we have to strike in order to preserve.
So you feel like we need to find a balance, that balance.
Balance is important.
So government's main concern should be more geared towards feeding people.
Not even the government. Every single person.
Every person.
Get off this kick that you
So
need
do you
to
think,
make money, some career or profession to feed yourself.
Yeah, I really like the idea of more a local-based community agriculture and self-sustaining communities. And that's kind of what community gardens inspiring. Do you think the USF inspires the students to be more environmentally aware or live a more
I think it has the capability
virtuous
to.
life?
What's your name again?
I'm Christina.
Christina? Yeah.
I think the USF Garden has the capability to do exactly that, but I just feel like it hasn't yet because not a lot of people have caught on to the fact that we even have a garden on campus.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't even.
Most students I talk to have no idea where it is or haven't ever taken a part in
You
it.
guys should go check out the garden. We have a garden on campus.
I was thinking also look at the Bay Area and we're one of the most progressive areas in the world,
That's why I'm here.
There you go. So I don't know, how do you see the Bay Area in comparison? Because you said we had to revert back to this type of lifestyle, but there's a lot of green initiatives going on in the city alone. So how maybe I know you're a sociology major like me.
Right.
So maybe do you think of other areas around the country or perhaps even in the world where you'll see people are kind of more aware, conscious about the environment and the way they live their lives?
As compared to the Bay Area, probably not. But like you said, I don't think that a lot of other places are as progressive as California in general. And I'll just use the example that we're having with our air climate or quality control of the air climate and stuff like that, and our gas.
Yeah.
You know that gas in California costs about, on average, about 20% more than the rest of the country's gas.
Yeah.
Especially this time of year because of the blend that we use to try and to try and fight the smog in the air because of the amount of cars and stuff that we have. So, I mean, I guess that's a good thing, but it also costs. I mean, like we've done so much harm to the community already and to the world in general that now we have to pay, like money basically, or we have to pay money in order to try to get back to a way of living that is more balanced.
Yeah, that's good.
Definitely. Cool, man. Thanks a lot.
Is that it?
Yes, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And come spend your $50,000 a year, and then you'll have a 6-figure salary one day.
That's
day.
Definitely.
sure.